Hey everyone, welcome back to another Beast of the Mesozoic Tyrannosaur series review. Today we're taking a look at Moros intrepidus. Moros here is one of these smaller figures in BoTM. This figure retails for $40. If you'd like to order one for yourself, the link is down below for Creative Beast Studios. And if you're outside the US, link to everything dinosaur. So yeah, another really cool species. Moros here had a little bit time in the spotlight in Jurassic World Dominion. Was one of the first fully feathered dinosaurs to be shown in the Jurassic franchise. So it's pretty cool that we got an accurate representation of Moros in Beast of the Mesozoic. So let's just go over the packaging really quick. We have this beautiful artwork of Moros on the packaging. Let's get the camera to focus in on that. Inside the box, the glare from the cameras make it hard to see, but you can see the Moros in this nice window box display. Beast of Mesozoic up here, Moro intrepidus along the side, Tyrannosaur series 1/18 scale. Side of the box, Beast of Mesozoic Tyrannosaur series logo, and the back of the box we get a nice product shot of Moros with some facts and the other figures available in Wave 3. So enough about the packaging. Let's crack this little feather Tyrannosaur open and take a closer look. And here is Moros intrepidus out of the packaging. I just love saying that name. These small figures are absolutely fantastic. They are the perfect entry level if you want to get a taste of what Beast of the Mesozoic is all about. They're really fun to play with. They have great articulation, and Moros is a pretty important dinosaur. It is one of the earliest diagnostic tyrannosauroids from North America. I think it predates like other tyrannosaurs by like 15 million years. It is from the Cedar Mountain Formation, and I'm only mentioning that because we have Deinonychus, Utah Raptor, Acrocanthosaurus, and Sauropelta on the horizon from Beast of Mesozoic, so they're all going to appear nicely with Moros here. And I have to say, this is probably one of the best painted figures of the smaller figures in the Tyrannosaur series. Its coloration is based on the the painted red star is a type of bird, and I just think the black, the grays, and that bright red really contrast nicely together. All around, a very, very beautiful looking figure. And now time for some measurements. This figure is 8 inches long from the tip of the snout to the tip of the tail, or 20.3 centimeters, and about 3.5 inches tall to the top of the head, or 8.9 centimeters. So Moros in real life was around 8.5 feet long, or 2.6 meters. So I put this figure in the 113 scale range. The line is supposed to be 118 scale, but a lot of these smaller feathered tyrannosaurs in this series are all different sizes. And, part sharing is part of the action figure business. So it would just be very cost prohibitive to make different body types for each of these species. So there had to be some compromises. So yeah, it's a little bit bigger than it should be, but I'm okay with that. And let's just take a quick look at all the accessories that comes with Moros. First up is the display base. This is the same base that comes with Proceratosaurus, Guanlong, and Eotyrannos, just painted a different color. This one features a nice woodland paint scheme. You got some nice dark moss on there, some roots painted, and some wet looking rocks and a log, all nicely detailed. On the side of the base is hollow. Every time I talk about this, I wish there was storage ports for all these extra feet right here, kind of like the Raptor series did. I have to keep everything in Ziploc bags with the collector cards so I don't mix everything up. And you do have a port right here to plug in this display stand. It plugs in pretty nicely, pretty secure. If yours is a little bit loose, a couple coats of clear nail polish will tighten that right up. And then you have a support right here for the chest of the figure to rest on. And then there's one more display piece option. You have a smaller one that's not as U-shaped as the previous one. I like using the previous piece. I think it provides much more support. But if you find that to be too obstructive, this is the piece you want to go with. And we do get a couple different pairs of feet that can be attached by just popping the foot off and plugging it into that ball joint. We get a pair of closed toes. These are very, very tiny feet. Like I said, store them in a Ziploc bag. These things are very, very easy to lose. And you do have a pair of walking toes, all nicely detailed. Those toe claws decked out in glossy black paint. And we also do get the collector card. Features some ice artwork of Moros. And on the back of the card, we got a picture of the actual figure and some facts about it. And now let's zoom in and take a look at some of the finer details on this figure. Whole figure sports a nice feather coat on here. All the feathers are nicely detailed. The head sculpt is really, really nice. I just love those piercing red eyes with that black pupil. You have a little bit of a horn poking out of the feathers right there. You have nice plumage of black feathers on top of the head. And let me just zoom out a little bit so the resolution looks a little bit better. You have some orange and black and red for the snout and around the fenestra, some more yellow on the lower jaw. Opening the mouth up and zooming inside, you can see the teeth are all nicely painted, bright pink and gloss coat for the tongue and gums. And then on the underside, we have that bright red for the underside of the throat and some of the armpits and along the belly of the animal. I think that bright red with that black and gray just provides a beautiful contrast. Going down to the neck, you have more black paint coloration. My camera does not like focusing on this figure. Mixed in with light gray markings, you have a little bit of orange poking up along the sides right here. And then going down to the legs. Legs have a nice mix of the light gray, blacks, and orange mixing in. And then going down to the feet aren't feathered. They are nicely scaled, very bird-like, painted in yellow. Here's a view of the figure from the top. And then going down to the tail with some nice grays and white striping all the way down to the tail, to that nice tail plumage. So yeah, all around, really, really beautiful looking figure. Absolutely love the head sculpt on here. Just these small feathered dinosaurs are just a lot of fun to play around with. Now for articulation, mouth can close completely flush and it can open up that far. For the neck, you do have a bulge on here. The head can go up that far, down that far, and you can actually get 360 degrees of rotation on that neck. For the base of the neck, you get some upwards and downwards movement, as well as some side-to-side movement on those two joints working in tandem. Here's a view from the top so you can see how much move you can get. This is some of the best neck movement in the series, and I got my dog sitting behind me who is whimpering right now. I don't know what his problem is. And for the arms, you get some backwards and forwards movement, not too much outward movement. They are on a ball joint, so that does restrict it. Kind of wish they were on a hinge joint, like the 1/18 scale Raptors, to get more of an outward swing on those arms. For the elbows, you get just about 90 degrees of bend on that joint, hinge joint at the wrist, and rotation. For the mid joint, don't get a lot of movement out of this joint. Very little up and down and side to side movement. Come on, pup, what's your problem? And then backwards and forward movement on that thigh joint, and you do get decent, not too much bend on the knee. I really wish there was like a double jointed knee on these figures just to get better knee articulation. And then for the ankles, you get some nice movement on that. That can rotate up and down and rotation at the feet. And then going down to the tail, you do get a bendy rubber wire that allows some nice side-to-side movement and up and down movement on that ball joint. So yeah, all around the articulation on these figures is pretty good. Moving on with comparisons, here it is with the Hammond Collection Robert Muldoon. Like I've said many times during these reviews, 3 3/4 figures are 1/18 scale, so they scale perfectly with Beasts of the Mesozoic. And a couple years ago, Jurassic World gave us our first look at Moros in the franchise, and this is the figure that they came out with. It's just is one of my least favorite figures from Jurassic World, but it's really nice that Beasts of the Mesozoic gave us an accurate version of the species, because the model that they used in the film was actually pretty good. You know, fully feathered dinosaur. It looked awesome, and then they gave it this hunk of crap of a toy. And next up here is one of its feathered companions. Like I said, most of these, all these smaller feather Rexes share the same body type. The only difference is different head sculpts, and some of them have different tail sculpts. The Proceratosaurus has a much larger plumage at the tip of the tail. And next up here it is with the previously reviewed Electrosaurus. And next up here it is with the awesome Albertosaurus. You can just see how big some of these Beasts of Mesozoic figures can be. And lastly, here it is with the big daddy of the series, the Tyrannosaurus Rex. You know, this really puts into perspective of how small Tyrannosaur started before they evolved into the absolute powerhouses that we saw in the late Cretaceous. So final thoughts on Moros here. I think it's one of the best painted smaller Tyrannosaurs in the series. That black, gray, and red really makes the figure pop. They're really fun to play around with. The articulation is good. There's one criticism about the articulation, other than the restrictions in the knee joints with the closed toe and the running toe options, because the figures, the ball joints are so small and the feet are so small, you don't get that range of motion you get with the larger figures when you put these extra feet on. It's just really hard to get them into really good poses with those feet options. So that's just one small critique about this figure. Other than that, they're great. You know, if you don't have any Beasts of Mesozoic figures, these $40 figures are a good way to get into the line and get a feel for what's in store. And like I said, beginner review links are down below for Creative Beast Studios and Everything Dinosaur if you want to pick one of these figures up for yourself. So that will do it for the review. Still got Tyrannosaur and Tarbosaurus to finish off. Then I'm done with Wave 3. PNSO, Edmontosaurus, and Holland Good Alamosaurus are on the way, so hopefully you should have the reviews up on those pretty soon. And as always, if you're enjoying the content on this channel, show your support by hitting that subscription button just below the video. Each subscription helps out the channel tremendously and is greatly appreciated. And I'll see you guys for the next one.